Everybody, how are we today? Lately, we've been talking about notes, playing riffs and licks and solos, just playing along with some of your favorite songs. And in order to do that, we need to know what key that we're in, right? And 9 times out of 10, the key is told to us. Whoever's leading the jam says, hey, everybody, we're playing an A. Or if you're off of a backing track here on YouTube, well, here's the key of the song. But what if you don't know the key? And I get a lot of questions say, Ray, how do I find the key? How do I know what the key is if nobody tells me? Well, today I'm going to give you how I do it. Now, disclaimer, to my knowledge, there's no hack, cheat, shortcut, surefire way. If there is anybody out there with skills much higher than me, please let us know so we can all learn, right? But in the meantime, I'm going to show you what I go through. Now, I'm going to make it sort of, it's got an elongated process, but all of this has to happen. If you're at a jam or something like that, like you got to process this pretty quickly, all right? When you're on your own just learning, you can take as long as you want, all right? So here's the steps that I go through. So I'm going to put a backing track on that we don't know the key of, right? So we don't know what this is. I'll turn it up a little bit. All right, so the first thing I do is I'll maybe run through randomly over one string. So I might go something like this. I might go, right? And you can hear that those don't work. Okay? This one works. Another thing you can do is go okay, I was going to say C because when we went here, that sounds pretty good. Let's turn it up a little bit so we can just make sure. There's C. But now here's the G. It's not bad. And remember, C is the fourth of G. So here's where that whole 1, 4, 5 comes in again. So we're listening to something, and we're literally doing this. And we're waiting. That's not bad. Sometimes it takes a whole song. See, this sounds pretty good. And there's the open G. Sometimes different octaves sound different as well, right? So right now I'm thinking it might be G. All right, so there's a couple. Now the next step is, what if it's not G? Now remember, our 4-note box consists of the 1, 2, 4, and 5. So on G, 1, 2, 4, 5. So of course I'm going to trust my ear and play along. Not bad. Okay, now, what if the G, here's what you have to watch for, isn't the root? What else could it be? So if we go to this G here, we could pretend that this is the 5th of whatever the root is. G sounds good. Remember, the 5 and the 1 will always sound really well together. So don't be sort of tricked, right? So here's the G. Let's pretend it's the 5. So there's 5. How do we get to the 4? We go here, 4. The 2 is up here. Now we're to the 1. Now what's the 1? It's C. Ooh, that sounds better, doesn't it? Right? That sounds a lot better. Let's try it somewhere else. Same notes played somewhere else. Let's try it here. I think it might be C. All right? So let's try it here. There's the 5, there's the 1, there's your power chord shape. C power chord. Yeah, I'm leaning towards C. So here's the last test to see if you're right or you're wrong, okay? Play the note over the whole chord progression, the same note, and make sure that there's no bad vibes. Right? So in this case, sounds good. Sounds good. C, sounds good. B flat, sounds good. F, C. This is the key of C. Now, what did it take us here? About 4 or 5 minutes to figure that out. Now, in a lot of cases, your song is over, right? So we got to speed that process up. I'm just elongating it just to explain how it all works, right? Now, when you're looking for this key note, the root note, people used to say, oh, hey, I just go by ear. And then I would roll my eyes, of course, because to be honest, like I just don't see listening to something and knowing, oh, that's a D, this, that's an E, that's an A. I guess when you're way up there, and I used to go, yeah, right, play by ear, right, whatever. Okay. Well, now I've only been doing this on the note side for not very long, but now it's happening to me. So I'll listen to something and I'll notice, okay, I got to start. I do the same routine as I just showed you, but I'll say, I'm lured here. And I'll start playing and I'm really close. If not, I've nailed it. So without knowing or thinking about it, I realize that my ears are better than I think they are because they're actually guiding me where I should go on my guitar to start looking for that root note. And that will happen to you, okay? So don't roll your eyes. It will happen, but it just takes time, right? And it's not something that we can push or hurry up. It happens when it happens. So I just want to go over the whole process real quick, okay? Listen to the backing track. Start playing notes, okay? You can either go string by string, and listen for that magical sound, which, I mean, the G is close, okay? Or, and, if you don't think you hear it, you can go along one string. See? Oh, that's it right there, right? And remember, if that's the root, the 2 always sounds good. So in this case, the D would be the 2. I'm really leaning towards that. And then just do a check to make sure it's not the 5th of something, right? So the 5th of C would be, there's the 4th, so 5, 4, 2, 1. Play those 4 notes. It doesn't work, okay? So I'm gonna play up here. And just to be safe, I'm gonna go to another C. I'll try this one here. Yeah, it's C. And lastly, play the C over everything. And it should sound good over every chord in your progression. Now, the odd exception, and it's worth noting, but it's not something to go crazy over. The odd exception, most songs are written from the chords within one key. The 6, 7 chords that are in the one key. 7 if you use the diminished. And there are exceptions. So sometimes we can go to another key because of the relationship, sometimes the relative minor relationship thing going on. We can go to another key and we can take a chord from that key and use it with the chords from the original key that we're playing in. Okay? We haven't broken any rules because there are certain sort of exceptions that we can do this. And that could be a little confusing. But other than that, if you're in the key of C, your song is going to be made up of the chords from the key of C. C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, and A minor, in any combination, right? So, again, it's just trial and error. Listen, trust your ears, and go from there. Now, if you didn't do the whole, well, I should check that it's the 5th note thing and not the 1st, if you didn't do that, it's not the end of the world because, to be honest, I mean, there are a lot of songs where the solo or the riffs or the licks are played in a different key than the song. Like you might have a song in the key of G, but the solo might be in D, right? Now, G and D are that 1-5 relationship I was telling you about. So in this case, if we're in the key of C and I decide I could probably play a solo in G, Now, there's no G chord in this particular chord progression, so let's see if it actually works. Okay, so there's no G chord in this. See? It's not bad because G is the fifth of C, which is the actual root. So it can be a little confusing. I hope this hasn't confused you. If you have any questions, let me know. And again, if you know a better way to do this, bring it on so we can all learn from you, right? And remember, at the end of the day, the only way to get better, just play your guitar. All right, see you later.